good, everybody? Listen, it's another Friday. We are back. Matter of fact, this is the last Friday in the year. And this is the time you really look. They say you save the best for last, right? Right? Now, I go by the name of Gabriel, and this is my co-host, Mr.
What's up, y'all? JR, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Merry Christmas to y'all.
Hope you guys are celebrating, the holidays. We've been having fun, since we've been back, and I want y'all to share this video. Hit share right now, because tonight's guest, he's been on here before. So would I call him an alumni, or he's been here before. So listen, this guest, he has a lot on his heart to talk about, and we are here for it. So hit share on this video. Listen, tag a radio personality, tag an artist, definitely tag just people who are into music, into the music business. We're gonna dig right into the gems. He's originally from Queens, New York, by way of Aiken, South Carolina. I want to introduce to some and present to other. He's helped plenty people, including myself, when it comes to radio. The one, the only Mr. Tony D on the radio. Where's Tony? There he is. Jared's falling asleep at the wheel. My man. Nah. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm great, man. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, hey, man. Listen, man, Tony. When you we talk on some other things, but when you say, "Hey, man, guys, get back on the podcast," we like, yes, yeah. Perfect. We can end the year off with Mr. Tony with the radio. So I know I gave you a little rough introduction, Tony, but why don't you tell our audience who you are? Remind them.
Man, you did a great job, Gabe. Oh man, my name is Dallas Frazier, aka Tony D on the radio. I've been in radio for over 20 years. I host the syndicated radio show, The New Artist Profile, which is on 40 stations across the country. Former music director of WAW Shout 94.7, former music director of WNRR Gospel 1380 AM, and co-owner of C Stage Radio. Myself and Timlin Atkins, we own 24-hour gospel internet radio station that's doing very well, supporting independent artists. 2022 Stellar nominated radio show host of the year. Wow. Man, God has really blessed what I've been doing, putting my hand to the plow, helping independent artists, just get their music out there, man.
Now, I got a quick question before we move forward. The Dallas name. Now, is that just your radio name? Or was that something from
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
No, my daddy's name is Dallas Frazier. Okay. That's it. So I'm Dallas
Junior.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And I happen to love the Cowboys.
we got two juniors on, man. That's dope. But we was gonna say Cowboys. Go Cowboys. But speaking of helping independent artists, because you along with some other folks, have helped me, with my songs to get it out on the radio. Can you dive in a little bit more on what you do for independent artists when it comes to radio?
Man, I think I'm the one that helps make sense of radio and how to get their music on the radio, what to do when you approaching radio stations. There's a lot of misnomers out there about how to promote, how to send your music out to radio. And so when I find an artist that sends music to me in a haphazard way or really not too professional, I kind of hit them up and say, hey, you might want to do this, you might want to do that, because I know if you're sending me your music this way, you might be doing the same thing to other radio promoters out there as well. Just really doing a lot of A&R with the artists, man, because there's so many artists coming in with the advent of being able to produce your music in your own home studios, which I really sometimes don't like. But just kind of coaching them and directing them on what to do and being effective and efficient when they're sending their music out.
So I want to dial back to what you said earlier. You said some like artists sends music out kind of like haphazardly. Can you give an example or some examples of what haphazard means to you as a radio personality, a radio programmer director?
Well, one of the things is people hit me up on my inbox on Instagram and Facebook continuously, and they'll put all their music in, and that's really not, where you want to submit your music, because social media platforms inboxes are really kind of personal.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to be putting your whole product in somebody's inbox, or even if you do that, because I've done that before. I may not know a radio program at a particular station, and so I'll inbox them, introduce myself, and try to find out what's the way to submit music to them. I don't drop my artist music in the inbox, because that's kind of impersonal, kind of disrespectful. You're invading their personal space, really. I feel it that way. So you want to make sure, if you are going to reach out to somebody in their inboxes on social media, introduce yourself and then ask them, what is the procedure on submitting the music? What's your email address? What are your radio review, your music review days, things like that. Just get information from them before you bombard them with the music.
Okay. I know that a lot of artists, and y'all share this video, they get stuck into that little, what you just said, like, hey, I'm gonna just send it. But a lot of artists, they, to their defense, they may not even know how to begin that process to reach out to who and to say what. What are some other things that you would recommend? Because JR and I, we're music producers, and we usually tell the artists that we work with, listen, man, get producing music and getting you a song or getting you an album is kind of like the easy thing at this point. The other side of it is where you need to take just as much care as you did when you trying to, create your music, and that's promoting of it. How important is it to promote your music through things like the radio and what you do?
Promoting yourself through radio is very important. So many different. When you say promotion, that's such a broad range. You have social media promotion, you have radio, which is really promotion. You have going to events, which is promotion. So I think before an artist comes in with their music, they really just kind of need to research. Just Google what to do. A lot of this information is out there for you to read. So just read this information before you get so excited and your zeal pushes you to do some things which may be a turnoff. Now, you said something very, very key that a lot of artists don't know, right? I used to get so frustrated until the Holy Spirit said, Dallas, there are certain things you didn't know and you were making mistakes. So you got to be a little bit patient. So I really, the Holy Spirit had made me pull back on a lot of my, and be a little patient because they don't know. Now, when I say radio, your song being played on the radio is simply promotion. It's like I was told by one of my mentors in the industry that your song being played on the radio is just a 3-minute and 25-second commercial, right? Because it's introducing the listening audience to your song. They can't buy the song off the radio, but they can hear the song and possibly want to go stream it, download it, purchase a CD or whatever the case may be. So just make sure that when you're sending your music out to radio, that you have your best foot forward and your music is produced well. That's one of the things that I've been reviewing a lot of Christmas music, and the production is not really well. Lyrical content's not great, and the singing is not good. And when you're doing an original Christmas song, when you're doing a remake of a Christmas song, you got to come correct with it.
Because they already heard the original, so they know what the original can do.
Right. I've heard so many remakes of This Christmas with Donny Hathaway. Like, you really got to bring it to supersede that, So really, man, promotion is a very intricate thing. It takes time to do. You got to research. You got to set a plan together. You just can't say, hey, I'm going to drop my song on Friday and it's Monday, and you haven't done any pre-promotion. Nobody knows who you are, and you expecting people to buy your product. And that happens to me all the time. People hit me up and say, hey, Tony, man, I'm getting ready to drop my song on Friday, and it's Wednesday. And I'm like, well, who are you? Like, who are you? You know, so
Casper.
right, exactly. You have to take a lot of time to game plan what you're going to do. I say, and some people would say no, but I say take a year. Take a year to game plan what you're going to do with the project, 6 months maybe, you know, to find out what you're going to do, how you're going to get it out there, the financing behind it, you know, all of that things. That's I say a year. No business opens up on Monday. Nobody has an idea about a business on Monday, and the following Monday they're opening up this brick and mortar. No, it takes years. It takes finances, a lot of finances. It takes a lot of people sewing in finance. You know, you got to take time. Well, you're a business if you're an artist. So take that same approach when you're trying to get your music. So I say, hey, it like you just said, Gabe and JR, producing music is easy.
Yeah.
But the hardest part is preparing the structure and strategy for promoting. So take your time. A lot of artists are in such a rush. Oh, I got to get the song out. I got to get the song out, feeling like it's going to be dated or whatever the case may be. But nobody knows the song except for you. So it's only dated because you done sang it 1,000 times in the studio and heard it 1,000 times in the rough mix and the final mix and all that. But nobody knows it. So if it takes a year, that's fine, because you have to have all your ducks in a row.
So what's different now? 10 years ago, you know, you have the people would mail their press kit to the radio station to promote. Is that still the same now? I know now it's different. It's different today because we have technology and stuff like that. So what's the difference between how should an artist connect with a radio promoter?
Well, that's a great question. It's really no particular way, because I have some radio promoter friends who still send press kits and CDs. I have some who don't send that. They send all the EPKs. That's all they do. Really, I would say have both, because there are a lot of stations out there who still operate on CDs. A lot of them have not moved up to being able to use MP3s and things of that nature. You got a lot of stations that don't have the technology that others do. So send both. I like personally to still get CDs. I know people say, CDs are outdated, but I don't believe so. I think they still have relevance in the industry. I love to get CDs because I give them away as giveaways on the air. You know, why do I do that? Because that's promotion for the artist. So Gabe, if I'm playing, what's the song I played Saturday night? The love song, Awesome Love.
One of my joint.
I played yours, yeah. Love song, Awesome Love, or something like that. It was.
Oh,
Amazing Love.
Amazing Love. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So if I got that, if I'm playing that, and then I happen to have the single, then I can.
The song's playing right now. While you talking, it's playing.
I can say, hey, that was Gabriel Ori with Amazing Love. Hey, guess what, guys? I got his single in my hand right now. Hey, email me, inbox me, call me. You can get this joint. That's promotion for you. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I won't say there's a particular way to do it. I would say that you should have all bases covered if you're going to do it yourself. I don't personally recommend that you do it yourself as a radio promoter, because that's a hard task to do. I recommend that you hire somebody. But if you are going to do it yourself, then I would say have your press kits that you can mail out, as well as having your electronic press kits that you can send through email.
Two things. Oh, sorry, Gabe. I didn't mean to cut you off. Did y'all read on social media that Best Buy is now going to be stop selling CDs?
I didn't see that.
I saw that a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was pretty
amazing.
How things is swiftly changing, man. Because CDs was a thing of the past. Now it's everything is, Bluetooth, digital, MP3s, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, and then you also said something about, the radio station is pretty much an advertisement of your music when it's played. So it's like a 3-minute commercial. Right. So I want to plug in here, ask your producers also, giving people opportunity to have their 3-minute plug-in, or 30 seconds actually promoting your music. So yeah, I'm out. Go ahead,
Gabe. So that's funny, JR. You said that Best Buy is saying no more CDs. So we see we can feel and see the changes in the air. And speaking of changes, Dallas, you were one of the forerunners in talking about a change that was coming in the way that people uh not scan but like track your music, and that's the media base. Because I know when BDS was in and everybody was doing that, and then media base came, and that was kind of brand new for everybody. But I remember your text, because I'm a part of the group that you have, and your text, you're like, hey guys, just letting you know, if you don't know, register your song with media base. Can you talk a little bit about media base, what it is, and why should an artist register their song or songs in there?
Yeah, well, media base is not new. Media base is, I'm guesstimating, about 20 some odd years old, maybe older than that.
Wow.
And they were the two entities where songs were tracked on radio. Of course, you had Nielsen BDS, which turned to Luminate, which turned to there were a couple of different names, and then it was media base. Because Nielsen was so old, everybody was on Nielsen for a time. A lot of the radio stations were on Nielsen because sometimes a lot of the stations couldn't pay to be on both because it is expensive. You got to pay to be on both of those platforms to have your station songs monitored, the playlist monitored. So Nielsen went out of business in October of 2022. And October 31st, it was nothing. They sent us an email and said Nielsen was sunsetting, and it was only going to be media based. Well, that's when I was telling people, hey, go ahead, send your music to media base, registering with both, so that way your songs wouldn't completely drop off the charts. And that's what happened to a lot of not only radio stations but a lot of artists.
Wow.
So basically, it's the same way you were getting your music encoded with Nielsen. It's the same process. I actually like media base better because they let you know when it's done. You wouldn't know a lot of times with Nielsen until you actually typed in your name and saw you on the chart. Okay, they did it. But now media base does a great job of sending the email saying, "Hey, we have encoded your song and it's ready for tabulation." So and they're pretty quick with it too. So media base is the only company in town. It's no more Nielsen.
The big dogs.
They're the big dogs. So it's they calling the shots. And the sad thing about it is they limited the stations that are reporting now. So when you had BDS, you had 40 some odd gospel stations that were reporting, and you had 17 internet stations toward the latter part of BDS for the last 3 years of them being there. Well, that has decreased for media base. It's not as many radio stations that report. I believe it's maybe 20, 22, 25. So that what does that do? That decreases the amount of opportunities that an artist have to have their music charted, because a lot of the stations that were independently owned and quote unquote mom and pop stations that were reporting, where they didn't have to have a prepared playlist like the Radio Ones and the Clear Channels and the iHearts, where they have prepared playlists where those jocks have to play what they say. Well, the independently owned stations like where I was, we could play what we wanted to play. Well, those stations are not reporting now. So those independent stations aren't available to jumpstart the songs. Perfect example, this year, when that came out, I was able to jump that song on the charts because we were able to play what we wanted to play along with playing all of the national music. Well, that's kind of gone now. So the independent artists really have a hard time. That's why they really need to lean to the internet stations, because media base has not created an internet chart that's official, but there is an internet panel, and all of the spins from the internet stations comprise the overall spins that reports on the charts for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So internet, if you don't sleep on the internet stations, C Stage Radio, cstageradio.org, shameless plug. Don't sleep on us, because we're helping these artists get their songs on the charts.
So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we want to talk to Dallas about kind of like opening up this radio's reporting and how that kind of works. as well as moving forward with the independent artists. And shout out to Dallas with his plug. All when we come back, look, share this video, tag our artists. We'll be right back.
Sunday morning is one of the most segregated times in the country.
So when we understand our role as believers in the body, we should be the most powerful force on the planet. The church is the largest special interest group in the world. But because we are so fragmented and disjointed,
This is the moment, the one where every detail matters, where the essence of who I am takes center stage. Tonight isn't just another evening, it's a canvas waiting to be painted with shared smiles, laughter, and the unspoken connection. It's not just a fragrance, it's a whisper of who I am, an unspoken invitation, a story waiting to be unfolded. With this cologne as my silent ally, I'm armed and ready to create a night that won't be forgotten by morning. Tonight, I become the author of an unforgettable story. Code 78, the Love Movement.
And we're back. Listen, before the break, we had Dallas, Tony D, as we call him. He said something that really kind of ticked the box. He said, BDS kind of took their last hiatus and radio stations, reporting. And so, Dallas, I want you to kind of go back into that, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if a radio station reports, the question is, who do they report to? What is reporting, and what does that do for an artist that's playing on that station? Can you dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So reporting basically is the term where a song is the song, however many times a song is played in a day, in a week, or a year, it's tabulated, and those amounts of spins or plays place you on the chart where you can see when you move up, if that makes sense. So for instance, let's say my song Summer Night Groove on the jazz charts, if it's played in a week, if it's played 5 times, I may be low on the charts. I might not reporting, it might not report high on the charts. But if it's played 50 times in the weeks, I may be higher on the charts. So that's basically and the station is monitored. The station spin of every song that's played that has been encoded is monitored, and that's what we call reporting, because we report our spins and the spin counts of these songs to Mediabase.
Is the station itself, are they obligated to report?
No. Everybody, all the stations want to report because it's kind of a prestigious thing to be on the panel. So, for instance, if we can help Kurt Franklin go to number 1, if we give him X amount of spins, right? I know that when I was music director of WAAW before they went out of transition to sports, doing 24-hour sports, you know, the artists, the labels, and the radio promoters would call me and say, "Hey, we got JJ Harrison is like 20 spins from number one. What can you do for us, Tony? Can you give us 10 spins? Can you give us whatever to help catapult these artists to get to these plateaus that they all want to achieve?" So it's an honor to be able to be a reporting station, and it has its benefits because if you're having events, you know, you can have the artists come in town basically for free because we're paying them for their spins that we're giving them. We would have a big event every year called Shouts Fest. This is what we just celebrated 15 years, and we rarely paid an artist financially, but when they were coming, we would up their spins. That was valuable to them because we're helping them move the charts to get those coveted number ones, and even to get attention from the Doves and the Stellars and even the Grammys, you know. So all stations don't report because you have to pay. It's not a free thing. You have to pay.
You have to pay to report.
Yes, and I don't want to get into the numbers. I don't want to put the business out there, but it's not cheap. We pay monthly to keep C Stage Radio, my internet stations. Tim and I pay monthly to keep C Stage as a reporting internet station, and it's valuable to do that because we get a lot of perks. Like we get stuff from the labels. Like I just got a ton of drops, Christmas drops from CeCe Winans, from Molly Music, from Erica Campbell, from Isabel Davis. I got a lot of drops from the radio reps because we're a reporting station.
From Gabriel Ori, man. Gabriel, you know, I just had to throw that plug there, you know. No, I'm saying, go ahead.
I played your drop the other day. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you.
But listen, that is important. I think that's very important information because that's something that I know a lot of people don't know. You educate me as well as far as like how the radio business operates. And then you said it yourself. I wanted to tail back to that. You have a internet station, correct?
Yes,
C-Stage?
Yes. CStageRadio.org.
And you're reporting.
Yes.
All artists out there. Tony D has a station called C-Stage. Y'all need to get with Tony. Listen, share this video. I'm going to keep saying that. Y'all need to get with this man. This man, you've been in radio over 20 years, right, Tony?
Yes.
Over 20 years. You obviously can tell he has the knowledge about how radio stations work. He has his own, and he's available. So artists, you know, and I wouldn't tell you nothing that I won't do. I've done it. And so it's imperative to have the people that knows what they're doing. I think we talked on another episode, JR, about teams, and you can't, no one person can do it all. You have to have a team of people to they can be little experts in their own field, and you let them go and do what they do, you know. And so this is another connection of your team that you should have. You need radio. Why not get it from Mr. Tony D?
And speaking of radio, internet radio, do you think in years to come that these local stations is eventually going to be now on internet? Because everything seems like it's moving from, I won't say moving from, is moving to internet based. And I see a lot of internet stations, a lot of DJs like yourself have your own location. I don't know, maybe it could be at home or what. Is that something that's going to be the new thing in the future? What do you think? Or is it still stations going to be planted everywhere like it is now?
Well, I'm praying that stations will still be planted terrestrially.
And I know why.
That's the word I was looking for. Go ahead.
I'm praying because I have applied for my FCC license to start our station here, which you guys have supported. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm praying that we will be local terrestrial radio will still have its place, but I believe that there's a market for them both. I plan on doing my terrestrial station here in Aiken and doing internet for that as well. So we'll have two. We'll have C Stage and we'll have the internet station, because I believe there's a place for them. I think of, and you guys probably can attest to this too, I think of so many things that if I had been forward thinking, how I would have been able to reap the benefits from. I can't think of a better term. For instance, somebody hit me up, my wife and I, years ago about shopping on the internet. And we were like, ain't nobody gonna be buying nothing on the internet. Y'all crazy. Like, what are you talking about? Buying shoes and clothes and groceries on the internet? No way in the world. 20, 25 years later, everybody's going to Amazon Prime buying stuff, right? I said that to say that I believe that eventually all radio is going to be digital, but I'm still going to hold that hope that we can still have the local radio, you know, because yeah, it's a need for it. Especially local radio. I'm really big on local radio. And I don't hate on Kirk Franklin station and XM, Sirius, whatever they call themselves now, you know, but you got to have local radio, because Kirk Franklin's not going to talk about what's going on in Columbia, South Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina. Kirk Franklin's not going to tell you what's going on at your church anniversary. You know, Kirk Franklin's not going to tell you what's going on with the local high school football team.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where you get local radio. So I think merging them both with internet would be that's what my vision is for my station.
And I think kind of like when you go shopping, if you go to a city that you're not from, you kind of want to go to the boutique shops, you know, because those are the places where they got the, hey, this is a local thing. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. Right, this is what we do. I think the radio station is kind of like that, where the local station, the terrestrial station, may become like a boutique type of place where you ain't gonna hear this everywhere, but we got to hear. You know, we got certain things. We got certain things that you ain't gonna hear nowhere else. You know, and that's a part of being in a in this city or in this place. You know, you get to enjoy this type of music.
Yeah,
or whatever's going on.
You get to hear artists that you might not hear anywhere else in your local markets station. You know, but let me tail back, because I do want to say this. One of my pet peeves is that artists only want to get on the stations that report and move their song up the charts. I don't like that. I think all airplay is good airplay, whether it be a station that does not does not pay to be on a media-based panel. I think you should still send your music, because case in point, and I'm just throwing out a state. If there's a big popular radio station in Newark, New Jersey, and they don't report, but they have all of the ears of everybody in Newark, all the way into New York City, maybe even touching into Philadelphia, you would be a person who I think lose your mind not to send your song to a station that has that popularity.
Yeah.
Because why? Because that can give you an opportunity to go there and meet people, develop relationships, meet pastors, meet ministers of music, go perform. You never know. So I say all airplay is good airplay, right? Whether it's a reporting station or not, you know. And JJ, you said something off air while we were on break about your songs being the stations where you
non-terrestrial and
royalties. Yes. Yeah. So all of the stations should report to the pros. The pros are ASCAP. It was BMI, but BMI recently got sold. But ASCAP, BMI.
Oh, wait! Don't skip past that, because we with BMI, or formerly BMI. What is BMI now?
I forgot the name of the company, but BMI was sold to this company. But they have a lot. It's supposed to be better for you guys. So you might want to check that out, because they got some money. They're talking about upping how much you're going to get.
Yeah, keep talking. Yeah,
I don't know all of it yet. I know my business partner Timberland Atkins. She probably. So if y'all want to know, reach out to Timberland Atkins with the
shout out to Timberland.
Yeah. She's the one that reads all that stuff. She probably reading it right now.
Oh man, hey, that's new to me.
Yeah, so check it out. But it's for your good, from what I'm understanding. But But yes, the radio station should be reporting, and that's another cost. A lot of stations don't, because it's another cost. You know, see, people be sleeping on the internet station. It's expensive to run an internet station the correct way. Now you got people popping up with them just because they can. And
hey, go ahead, name some names. You seem like you got something to put off your chest. I'm just
but to run it the right way, it costs, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have advertising on the internet stations. We have promotional packages on the internet stations. Why?
Yeah.
Because we got to pay the bills just like a terrestrial station does.
But the internet is powerful, man, because it reaches all across the globe.
I have sometime I go in my back office in C Stage and I see people in New Zealand,
exactly,
Mexico, all over the world. Those people who play the New Artist Profile syndicated radio show, I'm on 16 reporting stations, and I get numbers from them people from Germany, all over the world listening. So internet radio is very powerful and it's very beneficial. So don't discount those internet stations.
Let's say it one more time in a different way. A lot of people, and this is a myth, but I believe you are the myth buster tonight. A lot of people, including myself, I had the belief that, hey, you know, if it's a terrestrial station, I want to be there. Internet stations like terrestrial, put me there, because in my head, I'm like, every terrestrial station, like to JR's point, they got to report. They're reporting because it's a terrestrial station. They're reporting, and then I get spins, and man, I'm gonna be heard faster on a terrestrial. And if it makes you feel like, you know, hey, if I'm on a terrestrial, I'm driving in a Bentley, but if I'm on a internet station, I'm kind of like a station wagon. Bust this myth for us, please.
Well, let me tell you. So, just because you're playing on a terrestrial station that reports, don't mean that everybody gonna hear your song.
Right.
Because you're not going to go in heavy rotation, because there is as good as Gabriel Ori's music is,
and it's good.
It ain't superseding Kirk Franklin.
That's right.
No. It's not yet. Not yet. Even though it could, even though the quality of it is just as good, it ain't superseding the Lecrae. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. Like, oh, I'm on a reporting station, I'm gonna get these crazy spins and I'm gonna be on it. No, because
that works.
Terrestrial radio is not geared for artist music promotion at all. Terrestrial radio is geared for advertising. And when artists understand that radio is in business to advertise the clients that pay for commercials to make money, the only reason that music is there is to keep the listeners so they can hear the commercials in the first place. It's like if you watch the Cowboys and you see all these fancy commercials, ESPN don't care about the Cowboys. They care about how many people are watching the Cowboys, so that the Amazon Prime commercial can get 1,000 million views.
And this is why they're always on TV.
Right. And so, hey, why won't we play a Gabriel Ori? It's good, but he doesn't have the name of a Kirk Franklin, of a Travis Green,
receives the ears and the numbers.
Right. So you got to fit him in between those names and those that are popular. Now, do I agree with that? No, I don't. That's why I've always done my New Artist Profile, and I always play independent artists. But I have to know how to play the game, and I have to know how to strategically. When I was programming radio stations, I had to know how to strategically place Gabriel in between Molly Music, or in between Red Hands, or in between Kurt, in between, because if I'm playing a well-known song and a well-known song, and I put I got the bread and the jelly is Gabriel, then they'll stay. But if I'm playing new in the mindset of the consumer, I don't know if and they turn the channel. Radio stations, I don't want people to turn my channel, because that means that Joe Willie Jackson's funeral home ain't gonna get heard.
Yeah.
And that's what radio is about, and that's what I teach the artists. Radio don't care about the music so much. They care about the advertising. But why? Because that's what pays our bills. That's what pays the streaming. That's what pays the BMI and ASCAP. That's what pays the light bill. That's what pays all the other. It was $8,000 a month to run Shout 94.7. $8,000.
Listen, man, Tony, you dropping real gems tonight. I don't know if this is going over anybody's head of what he's saying. I mean, I'm taking it in like, yeah, that you breaking it down, brother. I know we don't have a lot of time left.
I have more questions, but I don't want to. Yeah.
No, go ahead, JR. We got time for another question.
But I'm like, so basically, what you're saying is, the radio station says, "Pay me, and we get what you need to be done." That's pretty much what it is.
Say that again.
So basically, it's all about the dollars. Do you pay me for some ads? Give me some money. I'll take care of the ads or whatever. Because basically, I got to pay you. I got to pay the company to, one, keep the lights on, one, to promote you, and two, pay bills, the monthly bills that you're talking about. So it's pretty much, it's all about the dollars.
I think I don't want to take it from you, Tony, but I think what I'm hearing is the radio station is a business.
Yeah.
And like any business, you have your bills. We got to pay some bills. Yeah. In order for them to keep the lights on and pay the bills, they need the top of the top, the artist who's getting the listeners' attention to listen to the station. And once they got all the listeners from these top tier artists,
then I can
the ones like me, they be like, hey, I sound just as good. You're like, hey, man, but you don't got the listeners, man. I can't lose the listeners because I'm going to start losing the dollar. So I got to play what they like. I got to put you in the middle somewhere, get you in there. That makes the programming director's job a little challenging because you want to give them a chance, but at the same time, you got to pay them bills.
Well, not all of the program directors, because some of them don't care about the independent artists, and I'm going to just keep it 100, and I'm going to leave it right there. I was one that cared. I was one that cared, so I would try my best to find a way to slide them in. But I have talked to some, and they say, we are not going to give Gabriel Ory a spin over Kurt Franklin. We're not going to do it. So
that's not just for a spin over Kurt, man.
And I hate to keep using you, but because your music is quality, it should be.
I love it, man. There's no problem, man.
But that's when you research shows like mine, the New Artist Profile. That's when you research Jay Williams show. That's when you research people who have independent artist shows that's quality. Shout out to Jay Williams. Jay Williams is on XM Radio, on Holy Culture Radio. The Big Red Radio Show is on XM Radio through I believe it's Howard University Radio. My station hasn't made it to my show hasn't made it to XM, but I'm on 16 reporting stations and 40 other stations overseas and abroad. I'm on 5 terrestrial radio stations here in America. So those are the stations that you want to get onto to get the exposure, because at the end of the day, it's exposure, because you want people to hear your song. Why? So they'll go stream, download, buy, purchase, and everything like that. And so the charts are great, but at the end of the day, I know there's been #1 artists out there, but you don't know who they are. Because they hadn't done any of the early work. We talked about promotion. They hadn't done anything like that. You go to their social media pages and they got a little bit amount of followers. They're #1 because they had the money to pay the top dog radio promoters that money to get them up there. Right. And that's a whole nother conversation in itself.
So those guys, like you're saying, the top dog radio promoters, they take their money and they use their influence to get their song on other stations.
Yes.
It's many levels. It looks like
I'm telling you, you guys don't even know.
Tony, you got another. We got to end this, but I got another question. So for a person like you, like if you work on a 9-to-5 job, usually there's another level that you go up and hey, I got promoted to this. Hey, I got promoted. For you, what's the next step or what's the next level for C Stage and to get to because you said you're not on XM radio yet, but like what's that next tier, and then how can we help to get you there?
The next thing I want to is God showed me when I was a teenager that I was going to own a radio station, and in 19 blah 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 blah. I didn't know how that was going to play out, but the vision he showed me wasn't just internet, because there was no internet back in 19 blah 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 blah. So the next step for me is to open up this terrestrial station here in Aiken, South Carolina, which will cover our area, and then eventually get the New Artist Profile on XM radio, because I believe that there is a market. People are hungry for new music. See, radio station force feeds people what they think they want to hear, right? You got to hear Kurt. You got to hear Tamala. You got to hear Yolanda. You got to hear, and it makes you, okay, you keep on eating because they're forcing it down your throat. But what about the other stuff over here that tastes pretty good too? You know what I'm saying? So I believe that there's got to be a place for a show like mine who can give you the alternative instead of forcing it down. Oh, but yeah, but taste this tastes good too. You know what I'm saying? So my goal, I don't know how it's going to happen before I close my eyes, is to get the New Artist Profile on somebody's XM radio station, and to get Christian Sounds Media, which we are a nonprofit. Thank God we're working on our 501c3, the Christian Sounds Media, rolling and popping here in the Aiken, South Carolina, Augusta, Georgia market. And I want to get one of my artists to #1 on gospel airplay on the media base. That's my goal. I've gotten them into the 70s, and I've got several #1s on the gospel internet chart, but I have not gotten artists the #1 on gospel airplay, and that's one of the goals I'm working on.
It's gonna happen.
And it'll be Gabriel Ori.
There you go. Hey, it's already there.
This is there, man. Listen, Tony, this has been a Jew-dropping, gym-busting, educational pod, man, for us, man. So we appreciate you for coming on. I have a lot more questions now, but we'll save it for another time. JR, you got anything else? I know you seem like you holding something.
Well, I'm still stuck on BMI switching, but I'll go research.
Man,
you got to check that out.
I saw it on Instagram. I was like, what? Yeah, so yeah, they were sold to another company, but I think it's going to be for your benefit. So you need to research that. Yeah, I'm with ASCAP, so I'm good.
But no, man, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you coming on and just blessing us with a lot of information and knowledge, man. It was well worth it. So
yeah, I would like to come anytime you want, because it's always changing. It's always changing. Yes. So you have to be like, I dropped some stuff that you guys didn't know. So it's always changing.
See the bass in the back.
Oh, my babies. I got my babies with me.
Yeah, you dropped a jazz song or EP or album?
Love Songs Volume 2. I dropped it February 14th this year, and it did really well. So yeah, man, shout out to you guys for supporting. Thank you for supporting and checking it out. I'm nowhere near as dope as y'all as producers, but man, I'm learning. I'm learning from you guys. I learned from a lot of people in the industry that I know that are producers. I do a lot of researching, man, and I just have fun with it, man. Yep.
Dope, man. How can people reach you if they wanted to, get in touch with you? How can they?
I'm working on my websites now. I'm working on revamping everything because I was hacked, and it's a whole story behind it.
Oh boy, we know about that.
Yeah, man. So I'm working on my websites and everything, but you can easily place to hit me up on Facebook, Dallas A. Frazier. That's my government name, and it says parentheses Tony D. Hit me up there. And you can follow me on Instagram, Tony D 947. I'm sorry, Tony D NAP for NAP as my man.
New Artist Profile.
Yeah, man. Just hit me up there. And definitely, man, I'm always taking clients. I'm always doing consultation sessions. My graphics company, we do album covers, we do one sheets, we're a one-stop shop for independent artists. Or if you just want to pick my brain, we don't do it for free, but if you want to go into us, we'll share. And man, because this is what I do, man. I love helping independent artists. This is what I'm gonna do until I take my last breath.
Awesome, man.
Oh, dope. So y'all heard it from the one and only Tony D, as we like to call him. And if you want to take a nap Take that nap, that new artist profile. Check it out. Tony's everywhere. And I really appreciate him personally. He got my song. In different places, different countries.
27. We got the number 27. That's
hey.
Wow.
Hey, fists up in the air. So I'm appreciative myself. I learned a lot from you, Tony. And so just glad you got to come back and we remixed this Ask a Producer with you. This is the last Friday in December. So JR, any last things? You good?
I'm good, man.
Hey man, I'm
Happy New Year,
man. I'm my birthday.
When's your birthday?
The 28th.
Oh
man. Happy 21st birthday.
That's
well, I'm right today. I'm send you the
Hey man, so that's Tony D, y'all. Follow him on Instagram, check him out on Facebook, C Stage. Holla at him, artists. Y'all holla at him. You need your song on that radio. You need to get on that media base. Well, this is the man who can help get you there. He can get your song all over the globe. So please, this is another team member. So join the team. So other than that, this has been Ask a Producer. I'm Gabriel Ori. This is my co-host.
JR. Thank y'all for watching.
Thank y'all, and we out.